Fast money, women in my life, starring Langston 2092. Yeah. So, I'm sitting in a room in my friend's apartment, and I'm pondering on my life, and all the things that's happened. Here I am broke. Tanya left me. The bookstore's closed. And I'm sitting back and I'm saying to myself, I have nothing. But all of these problems, all of this luggage that I have, suitcases full of problems. And I'm still not realizing that the solution to my problems is within me. Thus, I'm still a boy living in a young man's body. So, make long story short, I had to do something. I had to get up off my tail and do something. So I kept in touch with the brothers that were in the bookstore. And this one brother, he put me on to the movie game, bootleg movies, right? So he told me where to get them at, go to New York, go to 125th, and talk to Muhammad and da. And I was like, cool, because I used to work for the W. He had a spot at this corner store, right? And I would sell movies for him, and he would pay me like 10%. So take for example, if I made $500 for him, he would pay me like $50 or a little over $50, like probably about 75 to 100, something like that. I don't remember. But for the most part, it wasn't too much money, But the thing of it is that he always used to let me work for him, but he never put me on to the game. He never put me on to his connect on how to get movies. So the W, which was the owner of the HTM bookstore, the W always kept me as his little personal slave. But here it is, this other brother, he told me where to get them from. He told me what to do and all the rest of that. So what happened was, I didn't have any money. So I worked for the brother. And once I got up the money, once he was paying me and everything, once I got up the money, I wound up going to New York. So this is how it went. It was a couple of us that sold bootleg movies. And what we would do is we would get a Greyhound bus ticket. Now, I don't know if Greyhound does that now, but they did it before, back in the 90s. So what happens is you can buy a ticket. They had a deal. You could buy a ticket and your companion rides for free. So take for example, if I bought a ticket, round trip, cost me about $140, $150, you could ride with me, right? So we would buy those tickets. Now the thing of it is with those tickets is we would have to ride together. We couldn't use those tickets separately, right? But we used them separately. So one brother would go up and get movies for all of us and come down, and then we use the second ticket with another brother going up to get movies for us and coming down, right? So, I used to be the one that basically went up there a lot, So, I would go up there, go see this guy named Muhammad on 125th, off of 125th. I think it was like Lexington Avenue or something like that. I can't remember. It's been so long. So, I would go up there, and it would be a warehouse, right? A storage unit. And the storage unit, he would have Muhammad, this guy, African, he would have piles upon piles of movies. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, I know he had to have like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 movies in there, right? So you would go there, pick out what movies you want, and then give them the money. So normally what I would order was a case of movies. A case of movies was like 90 movies. Now taking heed, this is not 4K HD DVDs or nothing like that. This is the 90s. So we're talking about VHS tapes, right? So a case of movies cost $270. Plus it costs to actually send it. So what we would do, we would me most of the time, what I would do is I would catch a gypsy cab to Penn Station, drop the movies there, and they would weigh them, and I think each box was about roughly $18 to $20 something. And after that, I would catch the Greyhound bus back down south, and we would pick up the movies, at Amtrak's station in Raleigh, North Carolina. So, we would do that, go back and forth, and I started to generate money, and people don't even realize, like, this is the 90s, so there's no 4K HD, there's no internet, there's none of that stuff, right? So it's only 3 ways that you can actually see a movie, right? The first one was you would go to the movie theater and you would have to pay to see the movie. The second one is you would have to wait. Now taking heed, the way movies come out nowadays, it only takes, like, take for example, the Avengers Endgame. It only takes probably about 2 months max for it to go on Redbox or for you to buy it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like back then you had to wait 4 or 5 months, sometimes a half a year, in order for that particular movie to go on VHS to rent it from Blockbuster or Hollywood Videos. And the third way that you can see a movie is, of course, the street vendors, which was me and others. You could get the bootleg version. And people wanted to see particular movies right then when it first came out. So it was a demand for bootleg movies. And we made hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember one time I went out 4th of July and I made $700 in 4 hours. Just like that. It wasn't nothing for me to make $200-300 in the hood. You know what I'm saying? So what we would do is we would go to the projects every 1st and the 15th of the month when they got paid. And man, it was man, things were going great for me. You know what I mean? I was buying clothes, I was getting fresh. I would go up to New York and visit my family, and go to the clubs and just spaz out at the bar. It wasn't nothing, Of course, like I said, I'm a boy living in a young man's body, so I'm not saving any money. I'm just spending, and that's it. Now here I am, my license is revoked. I could have took some of that money to get my license back. Here I am in a situation where now I left a friend of mine's house and I started living with one of the brothers that was from, that was one of the members of Holy Tabernacle Ministries. But when the bookstore closed, we all just went about our own way. We just became regular people, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we still read books here and there, but for the most part, we just became regular people. So I started living with him and his sister. And his sister used to braid my hair in different styles. She was ill with it. So I was looking like $1 million, but like I said before, I wasn't saving nothing. I was all into having a good time. So we would go into projects and we would sell the movies and everything, and the people were like, I felt like I was God there. I felt like a celebrity, because as soon as I came in, they were like, oh man, there go the movie man right there. Yo man, what you got? I'm like, I got this. He and the dudes is like, let me get that, and that. Yo, how much can I get for 6? I'm like, you get 6 for 50. So I came up pretty quick. And then the drug dealers is crazy. One day, I'm not lying, we would sell to the drug dealers too. They would be out on the block, and we would go up to the drug dealers and sell to them, and they were like, yo, man, let me tell you something. I think y'all making more money than us. Cause y'all just don't realize bootleg movies was like crap back in the 90s, yo, man. For real. And I just had the time of my life. You know, of course I was smashing. I was body, my body count was going up. You know what I'm saying? I was smashing Project Chicks. And I'm not gonna lie, man. I mean, you know, we all know how Project Chicks are. You know, we really took advantage of them, you know? Because Project Chicks is, you know, we know that they've been mentally, you know, battered and abused because of their father not being there, them not having a father figure, you know, and just being in certain situations and circumstances. And I took advantage of that, you know. So I was running through them. They was cocking them legs open, and I put on the the Goodyear tire, you know what I'm saying, and put that joint on, make sure I was properly protected, and I dove in. You know what I'm saying? I dove right up in there. You know, so you know, I'm having the time of my life, man. It's like, wow, man, this is life, you know. All of this stuff that went on in the past, and now I'm truly living, not knowing that I'm not really living because I'm living with somebody. I'm not saving any money. I'm not thinking about my future. I'm not saying to myself, you know what, man, let me go back to college. I'm not saying to myself, you know what, man, let me pick up a trade while I'm selling these movies, because these movies are not going to last forever, in which they didn't. And you're going to see the straight downfall of Langston 2092 and these parts to come. So, you know, I'm having the time of my life. So one day, it was time for us to go up again to get some movies, right? And this particular time, it was me and another dude, right? Because we were getting orders for like about 4 or 5 people or something like that. So we had to come back with like 8 or 9 cases of movies, right? So me and the other dude, I've hustled with him before. We cool, but then again, he did some shiesty. He did something shiesty. Like one day, we went to another city called Fayetteville, the Fayetteville, North Carolina, that city that J. Cole is from. We out there hustling. I get to the projects, you know, we hustling and everything. So I go over this one female's house, and the female, no lie, bought had to be about 25 movies. So I made a killing off of her. That was just one shot, and then I still was selling movies after that. So then the dude, he drove. I'm gonna name him Troy. Troy would drive, you know, me up there. We would drive up there, and he saw that. So I went the second time, and she had another friend over, and they bought 40 movies, no lie. I said, man, this is a gold mine, for real, for real. And the third time, when it was time for us to go, he didn't take me. And he started going up there by himself. So I'm cool with him, but then again, I'm not cool with him, right? So okay, so we get on a Greyhound bus. We go up to New York, same thing, you know, we get movies and everything. We come back down, we get in the gypsy cab, we go to Penn Station, we drop the cases off. Now, for some odd reason, I don't know what happened, but some of the cases we had to take on the bus with us, right? And we've never done that before. I've never taken any cases of movies on a bus. Now, I've taken dollar tapes and CDs on a bus, mixed CDs, DJ Clue, and all the rest of that on the bus, but I've never taken any movies on a bus with me, right? We're headed down south. Now, back in the 90s, it was a thing for most drug dealers to catch the bus up north, get their drugs, and catch the bus back down south, right? Keep that in mind. We get to Richmond, Virginia. We pull up at the terminal, and we see cops with dogs, right? They're sniffing around the bus. Now, our cases of movies are under the bus, where, the storage, where they store the luggage at, right? So we're sitting on the bus and we're seeing them have the dogs sniffing around the bus. So I'm like, it ain't nothing. I mean, what we worried about it for? I mean, we don't have no drugs. So we get off the bus, and then they hand us the cases of movies. So we taking the boxes inside the bus terminal, and these punk cops, they have the dogs, while we're walking, they having the dogs sniff around us, right? So we put the boxes down inside the terminal, and we're sitting on them. The cop comes up and says, "What you have in those boxes?" And the dude that I was cool, named Troy, that I was cool with but wasn't cool with, he says, "Books." He says, "You mind if I open them up to see if there's books in them?" And Troy says, "No." I'm sitting, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. So they take me and Troy and I, in the back, along with the boxes. So one of the cops takes a box cutter, opens the box, and pulls out Titanic the movie. Now, let me tell you something about Titanic. Titanic made us so much money till it was ridiculous. They had it on the news that 125th had made over $1 million over $1 million off of the movie Titanic. That's how big it was, right? So he pulls out Titanic, right? And it was a double VHS, tape. And we charged extra. We charged them $15 instead of $10, right? He pulls it out and he's real country, cop is. "Oh Lord, they don't got Titanic. I thought that was still in the movie theater. Boys, what do y'all got here?" So I come out and I'm just being straightforward, because it's obvious that we're gonna get more trouble if we continue to spiral down this path, called lies or lying, right? I say, yo, listen, some of those are bootleg movies, the others are promotional copies, in which they were. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had movies like Friday, New Jack City, and they were promotional copies. They were dubbed, but they still were promotional copies. They did have, when you looked at them on the bottom of the screen, it said, if you're looking at this movie, call 1-800-NO-COPIES to report whoever sold you this movie. So anyway, Troy is like, "I don't even know why you open the box anyway." He's just being an a-hole to them, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Could you shut up? So he's talking, and I'm trying to get him to shut up, and he eventually shuts up when they went in his bag, because Troy had a knapsack, right? A book sack. They pulled out a notebook, and before they pulled it out, they said this: Is this an operation that's going on? Are y'all distributing and duplicating movies and blah 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 blah? And I was like, no, I know I wasn't. They pulled out a book. Troy had written all of the movies he sold in that book, and the amount he made per day. So the cop says, "Well, looks like it's an operation to me. Monday you made $300, or Tuesday you made $500. Boys, we gonna have to do something about that." And I put my head down like, oh my God, I just got my life together. I just got my life together, man. Tanya left me. The bookstore closed. Jamar's dead. What the hell, man? just got my life together. And what? And I'm gonna end it there. If you like fast money, women, and my life, share it. Share the videos. Like the videos. Comment and subscribe.